Jersey's own Zach Gelb.
Or maybe it's Pennsylvania. Anyhow, it's one of the two, I'm pretty sure.
The Zach Gelb Show continues
On Fox Sports 920, The Jersey.
All right, welcome back in. Time in the Princeton Orthopedic Associates studios on this Friday is 5:17. Let's go out to North Philadelphia right now, where I actually live, and bring in the head football coach of the Temple University Owls, getting ready for another season under head football coach Matt Rhule. Last year was a big success, taking down Penn State for the first time in 74 years, and then also having College Game Day come to Philadelphia. I know the season didn't end how the Owls wanted it to, as they didn't play that great in the American Athletic Conference Championship and the bowl game, but I'm excited to see what the Owls can do this year, and we welcome in my guy, and that is Matt Rhule. Coach, great to talk to you, and how are you?
Hey, Zach, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on. So there was a lot of traffic by my house last night, and I did some research, and it was the season ticket holder event. So how'd that go last night?
It was great. You know, it was really well attended. I think it was the most people we've ever had at one of the season ticket holder events. It was great to see all the people that support us. It was great for our kids to get a chance to get out of camp for a couple of minutes and see people that care about them, that support them, and go back and just really interact with the fans.
So I was talking to PJ last year, and he's clearly motivated for this season. How motivated is your team after tasting that success last year but not playing that great in the final two games of the season?
Yeah, well, you know, and I really think we played pretty well in the American Athletic Conference Championship game, and the reason why I say that is, you know, I think we faced a team that was better than us on that day, and I think that motivated us more than anything, you know, to get better, you know, to get back and really, you know, we played the number 8 team in the country, and we want to be the number 8 team in the country. So I think we're motivated by how we played in the bowl game. We're motivated by losing the conference championship game, but most of all, I think we're motivated by the fact that, you know, we're proud to be at Temple. We want to win at a high level. We want to really make the city rally around us and our students and fans rally around us, and we want to find a way to be great.
You lose a lot of big names, and that's the nature of the sport, and your staff does a tremendous job in recruiting to find the next Tyler Matikeviches, the Matt Ioannidis's, Kyle Friend, and also Robbie Anderson and the other diligent seniors that you had last year. Who are those leaders on this team for this year's version of the Owls?
Well, I think, you know, you mentioned one in PJ Walker, Jahad Thomas, Colin Thompson on offense, to name a few, Brendan McGowan, Deion Dawkins. On defense, you know, Avery Williams, Stephon Marshall, Hassan Reddick. You know, those guys have all played a ton of football for us, and there's many more. And they've been through the sort of rebuild, you know, the reboot of the program from 2-10 to a 10-win season. So they understand exactly what we're looking for. They've been awesome for us, and you know, they're picking up right where we left off.
Matt Rhule joins us right now on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, The Jersey. So when I was around your football team, and I still plan on being around your football team because I love the message that you send to these kids and the program and the excitement around Temple football, you always talk to them about trusting the process. And now we've seen improvements every year. You went from 2 wins to 6 wins, and then last year playing in the conference championship game. Can you just take my audience into your perspective and your philosophy on building a consistent program and the things you've been able to do at Temple?
Well, you know, we tell the kids all the time that all of us, we're just trying to build greatness. You know, we're trying to build great men. We're trying to build great football players, trying to build great student athletes. And, you know, when you put your focus on the players, when all you do is focus on them, it can be hard at times, you know, because you're constantly telling them what they're not doing right and what they have to do better. But when the focus goes on to the players, then you end up having a bunch of men out there that are tough, accountable, good football players. They do what they're asked. And as a result, you have a bunch of men that usually have a really good team. And, you know, last year we had a bunch of guys that have been through some wars with us. This year we have the same thing. And, you know, really it all starts with the mindset of, you know, starting with the players, their best interest, their future in mind, and seeing what happens from there.
How have you individually changed since the first day you took the job and all the success that you had up until now? How have you changed from your first year till now as a head football coach?
Well, I think, you know, I've just, instead of maybe having a bunch of different philosophies in my head, instead of having a bunch of different, you know, great coaches and things they taught me, I've really sort of developed my philosophy. I've really kind of developed our process. You know, I've learned from my coaches, Phil Snow. We've learned from our mistakes. And I think every year we sort of really refined what we do, how we do it, most importantly, why we do it.
And I remember in a conversation that I had with you when you were talking about seniors, you said that seniors either do one of two things. One, they give everything back to their university and they end up having an exceptional senior season that has many great memories, or they start thinking about that next level. I asked that question to PJ, which one of those players he's going to be, and he said for the unknown after his career, he's forced to be the first one that gives everything back. What do you expect out of your quarterback this year as he enters his final season with the program?
I expect him to be one of the best players in the league and in college football. I mean, I have unbelievably high expectations for him. He's always done everything right. He puts the team first. He's unbelievably talented, smart, intelligent, courageous, and I want him to have a great senior year.
And
I know
also,
he will.
Yeah, and also the running backs, that has to help him, and he has a close relationship with the Jihad Thomas. You must love that depth at running back, Coach.
Oh my goodness, it's fun. You know, we had 3 freshmen last year, 2 true freshmen. You know, Laquel Armstead and Jagger Gardner and David Hood as a redshirt freshman, and all of a sudden come out here now and they're all sophomores. They've all played. You know, it's going to take a little bit of load off Jihad, and that's going to let Jihad be the dynamic player that he is. So, you know, in terms of depth, I think we have as deep a backfield as there is in our conference.
You talk about recruiting athletes and also good men, so you have a lot of competition at the running backs. Do maybe you put one of those guys in the slot at wide receiver to get them some more in-game reps? And the depth at running back's a good problem to have, as you know.
Yeah, the depth is you know, it's crucial. It lets you run the football, and you know, I think Glenn's done a really good job at all positions of making sure that we have packages for everybody to get them to touch the ball. I mean, we like our receivers right now. Extremely happy with our tight end pool. So, you know, the more you can do, the more you can do. That's an old Bill Belichick-ism, and we say it with our kids all the time.
How about your offensive line? I love Deion Dawkins, but you did lose Kyle Friend. So how are the big boys looking up front?
You know, they're a work in progress. They're doing a really nice job right now. Brendan McGowan at center has played. Brendan McGowan's played a ton of football for us, and, you know, I think 20-some starts. He came in last year and played well for us. So we feel really good about, you know, his ability to go in and play center. Matt Hennessy's a true freshman that's been running with the varsity, and he's playing well. So we're extremely excited about those older guys, you know, the offensive line and the older guys as well as the new kids we just brought in.
Wrapping up with Matt Rhule, who joins us on the Zach Gelb Show. Let's take a look at that defense. That was the strength of your football team last year, and you lose 2 enormous names in a Tyler Medikevich, who plays his first preseason game tonight, and then also Matt Ioannidis, who's with the Redskins and went in the 4th round. What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses of your defense led by the remarkable Phil Snow?
Well, I think, you know, experience. We have a lot of guys who played a lot of football. I think the D-line looks strong. We have 4 senior defensive ends that we think are going to be a force. It's really going to be experience in the back end. You know, Sean Chandler moving to safety. It's his first time doing that. A bunch of corners who, you know, are going to start for the first time. A couple safeties are going to start for the first time. And so there's a lot of kids that are really good players that played for us, but they're just, you know, new to the grind of us, you know, starting for 14 games.
When you have so many players get drafted into the NFL and then also guys get signed as undrafted free agents and those end up sometimes turning out to be the better football players with the chip on their shoulder, what does that do for your program?
I think the first thing it does is it raises and changes the expectation level of the kids on our team. You know, when those guys got drafted, except for anybody that transferred in, the kids that were on our team, no one had played with a guy who had gotten drafted before. So whereas it seems like something that's, you know, mysterious. It seems like something that, you know, wow, does that ever really happen to anybody? When you start seeing guys that had the locker next to you get drafted, it really changes your perspective. It lets you know that, hey, this is possible. And then in recruiting them, you know, I think when they saw College Game Day come here, when they saw, you know, guys get all the national, when they saw Tyler get the national awards, All-American, Bednarik, Nagurski, when they saw him get drafted, I think recruits, especially in the local areas that liked Temple, now knew, hey, you know what, I can achieve all my dreams. I can be an NFL player if I come to Temple.
How much do you still talk to some of those guys that are trying to get their dreams accomplished in the National Football League?
I would say a good bit. You know, some more than others. But you know, at the end of the day, I consider myself, you know, their coach for a long time. So, you know, whether it's reminding them, you know, what it takes to make a team, or you know how they have to play in the preseason, or to take care of their body. I mean, I try to text them, and I can tell you this: they certainly still text us. You know, Tavon Young wants to know almost weekly how the team looks and who's doing well and who's not. Robbie Anderson, on his day off, came to the building last week. So we're proud of them. We're proud of all the kids that played for us, even the ones, especially the ones that aren't in the NFL, that are off getting jobs and doing great things, and we're here for them for the rest of their lives.
I know that you always had high expectations and you wanted to compete for the championship, and you always talked about putting a trophy in the trophy case at 10th and Diamond. Just wondering, are you at all a little bit surprised how quickly you've been able to turn around this program?
Because I didn't have a timetable, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I thought, I actually thought we'd do better my first year. I didn't think we were going to go 2-10. So, what I did was I tried to set the expectation level low by not being very good the first year, but that is a joke. But, you know what, Zach? I mean, I don't really think of that in terms of that. I just kind of, it is what it is. Once it happens, I move on. I just try to very much so in my life try to live in the moment of what is. And so that was awesome last year. It was fun. There were unbelievably great moments. There were some low moments. And, right now I'm in this moment right now. And so, the key for me is I don't want to be a one-year wonder. I don't want this program to be a one-year wonder. I want us to get back. And more than anything, I want these kids to win a bowl game and not just go to a bowl game.
I got two more for you before we let you run as we're talking to Matt Rhule. Really excited for this Temple football year, this upcoming season. A lot of stuff about the Big 12, and ESPN had this today that the Big 12 is going to talk expansion with 17 schools. Are you happy with the American right now, and what could Temple possibly offer to a big conference like a Big 12?
I can hear you saying the word Big 12, so you probably think I'm pretending. Thanks for picking up. Can you say it one more time, buddy?
Sorry. So are you happy with the AAC, and what do you think Temple could offer to the Big 12?
Well, I'm extremely happy with the, American Athletic Conference. I think, our record against, so-called Power 5 schools and what's happened in the bowl games the last couple of years with Houston and UCF, I'm happy with the league. At the same time, I think it's our job at Temple to do what's right for Temple, and if anything, it gives us an opportunity to do better. I'm excited about it. I have no idea what's going on. I'm coaching the team, but what I would say is any league, whether it's the American or any other league, any league should look at Temple. We're the 26th largest public university in the country. We're in the 4th largest media market. We shattered records on ABC records on Notre Dame. The Notre Dame game. We have the 5th winningest basketball program. We've been bowl eligible 5 of the last 7 years. So, I think our future is extremely bright. I think we have a lot to offer. And I think last year showed that the people in this area will rally behind a winner.
The last one I have for you, and I just want to get your perspective on something NFL related because of your time with the Giants, and it's a whole different animal, college to the NFL and vice versa, but you've always held your players to a high standard, and here in Philadelphia, there is some news around Lane Johnson facing a possible 10-game suspension, and last night when they were talking about Lane Johnson to Doug Peterson said he actually hasn't talked to Lane Johnson yet about that possible 10-game suspension. I'm just wondering what's your approach and how do you handle when you have a problem with the player?
Well, I didn't even know that about Lane Johnson, so I'm not familiar with the situation at all. I think there's two things I'll say. Number one, in any situation that arises, one thing I've learned is, number one, whether the player did something right or wrong, I think you have to protect the player as best you can as his coach. Because I think all the guys in the team are watching it. He's watching it, whether he did or didn't do it. So I know sometimes coaches have to protect the player, and instead they have to take a little heat themselves. The other thing I've learned is, sometimes other forces come in and say, hey, you can't talk to him about this. There's so many rules and regulations in college and in the pros now, collective bargaining agreements, all kinds of things. So, I've learned that as well. But when I'm allowed to, when it's okay, when it comes down to it, the thing that I've learned is, to listen to the player, to hear his side, to not jump to conclusions, and then also sort of find out what's going on, from other people. But, I think the way you're a great coach is you deal in truth, you deal directly, and, you never pull any punches or play games with your players.
Matt, continued success. I'm looking forward for the first game this year. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Zach.